back, midnight viewers, to Father Malone's Weekly Roundup. I'm Father Malone, and I am joined, as always, by that incredible edible egg of a co-host, Miss Ripley Jean. It has been cold lately. We should not be out for a walk right now. That's all you want to do, but there's no time. Listen, I mean it. Really, listen.
You made me dress up like a freak. Who cares? You said that I could hold your gun. Big deal. And now, baby, I'm having fun. I'll say it now.
Oh my god, if Nada is dropping by the studio, that can mean only one thing. It's a themed episode. And what a theme. And what self-promotion. That's right, this whole edition of the Roundup I'm calling the Park Your Carcass with Allan Arkush. Who's Allan Arkush? Damn your eyes! That's a pug joke and a Young Frankenstein reference. No, Allan Arkush is a prolific producer and archivist and professor at the AFI. He worked at the Fillmore East when the bands on the regular there were the Grateful Dead and the Who and the Doors. He worked alongside Joe Dante at Roger Corman's New World Pictures during what I consider the Corman heyday of the 1970s. Oh, and he makes movies. We're taking a look at two of his films that I consider my favorites, and another film that Mr. Arkush considers one of his favorites. That was confusing. We're taking a look at two Allan Arkush films that I love and one Roger Corman movie that Allan loves. Got it? And it's all in service with an episode of Anthology's Attack we've got later this week, where newly minted guest co-host Allan Arkush sat down with me to talk a quintet of horror anthologies. It's a really fun conversation, and Allan is obviously a hero of mine, so check that out when it drops. But this is a primer. A primer? Optimus Primer? Doesn't sound right, does it? Hey. Oh. Let's go. Remember Blade Runner 2049? I think most people somehow remember it more fondly than the original these days, which is gross. Funny story about Blade Runner 2049. I saw Blade Runner, the Ridley Scott, David Webb Peoples, Hampton Fancher masterpiece, in the theater. It was a pretty formative memory, so you can imagine I was pretty damned excited to see the sequel. And on opening day, I went with a friend, and we each took a couple of gummies, edibles, and then he freaked out so hard that I had to shepherd him, and we missed the entire movie. Well, not the entire movie, not all of it. He disappeared before the trailers were over, but I got as far as Ryan Gosling getting back to his apartment before I thought, okay, he's been gone a while, I gotta go check on him. Not an auspicious first film experience, but that scene, come to find out, was my favorite in the film. The concept of love between a replicant and a hologram, that's fucking dizzying. So sweet and unexpected. I guess I was predisposed to enjoy it because, even before the original Blade Runner was released, there was an entire film dedicated to that subject. It's right there in the title. From 1981, this is Heartbeeps.
And now, direct from his worldwide tour, we proudly present the one and only Leonard Catskill.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and germs. It's great to be here. Of course, at my age, it's great to be anywhere. But seriously, folks, I'm here to tell you about this new movie. It's called Heartbeeps, and it's about me and my pals. Here's Val Count.
Turn your head around.
I don't want to say he's dim-witted, but he makes an electric toothbrush look like a genius.
Look, fire. My function? To serve as companion and valet. Being programmed to charm was probably an extra expense.
This is Aquacom. She was Popular Mechanics Playmate of the Month for June 1994. Did a load of those components. Wowie wow.
Oh, thank you.
And then there's Philco. He's a great kid. But he had no sense of humor until he met me. I haven't been this happy since the time I bought a pet skunk. My wife said, where do you expect to keep it? I said, under our bed. She said, what about the smell? And I said, he'll have to get used to it, just like I did. Now, the problem is, we're all being chased by this overgrown squad car named Crime Buster.
Don't get excited.
Remain stationary for computer check. While waiting, you may enjoy a brief musical interlude.
He's a cross between Darth Vader and a Sherman tank. I've heard of party crashes, but this is ridiculous. But believe me, folks, this movie's got a lot going for it. There's action, adventure, romance, raccoons, even people. Hey, kid, behave yourself. Oh, yeah, and I'm in the movie, too. But seriously, folks, don't forget to see Universal's new movie, Heartbeeps. And it's coming for you-know-when. And speaking of Christmas...
Andy Kaufman, Bernadette Peters, in Heartbeeps, coming this Christmas. It's holiday entertainment for everyone.
So I says, I don't care who you are, Fatso. Get those reindeer off my roof.
Saw this in the theater, too. I was 8, which means it should have been my favorite film of all time. Yours, too. Here's what we got. Andy Kaufman, who he's white hot from his role as Latka Gravis on Taxi, which, for more information on that, check out Night Mr. Walters, a Taxi podcast, hosted by weekly Roundup composer HP. How much self-promotion? All of it. Anyway, Andy Kaufman, Bernadette Peters, Christopher Guest, Kenneth McMillan, the one true Baron Harkonnen. Harkonnen. Fuck off. Randy Quaid. And it's from an uncredited writer on Close Encounters of the Third Kind, John Hill. The DP is from The Onion Field, Charles Rosher. Visual effects by Albert Whitlock. He'd be busy around the same time with his work on John Carpenter's The Thing. The makeup effects are all done by the legendary Stan Winston. It's edited by Tina Hirsch. Check out her work on More American Graffiti and Gremlins, wildly impressive, and an unusually electronic score by John Williams, all directed by Allan Arkush. And it's a story of obsolete robots who break out of their storage facility in an effort to find a new life for themselves. Basically, Spielberg's AI without the heavy sci-fi spiritualism. Again, how is this not the greatest of all time? Because it's not. It is a film at war with itself. Everything I just mentioned seems to lend itself to a thoughtful, Ray Bradbury-like tale of whimsy and artificial love, and the movie is lensed that way, sweet and sentimental. But it's a big studio movie, so it's going to have explosions and chase scenes and comic relief, which feels like a real big afterthought. Though the mighty Ron Gans lends his voice to their chief antagonist, a rolling killing machine known as Crime Buster, and he's really funny. I think the studio wanted wacky in the wake of Animal House and Airplane, and to be fair, they probably expected it from the director of Rock and Roll High School, but what a disconnect on their part. Just a fundamental misreading of the material. Because a built-in joke that really works here is the slow assessment of a party that's been destroyed by the Crime Buster in his pursuit of the fleeing robots, by the party's haggard hosts, who are played by Paul Bartel and Mary Warrenoff. All the while, they're being attended to by these spectacularly designed domestic robots. This is situational comedy, not pratfall nonsense, but apparently that's what they wanted after the fact. Having said that, it's really worth a look if you get to it. I think the romance between Kaufman and Peters is really sweet, and when the robots are out of the forest, which takes up way too much of the film, I don't know if they were going for some sort of silent running comment on the disconnect between man and nature, but it's when they get to the junkyard and meet Melanie Myron and Christopher Guest that the movie comes alive. In fact, any scenes in an urban setting work really well. Plus, it's got an actual robot in it that's voiced electronically by Jerry Garcia. And it's got a Catskill comedian robot with jokes literally from Henny Youngman. Oh, and it has Roger Corman, Lucky Charm, Mr. Dick Miller in it. Dick Miller? Is that a coincidence? Hit it, HP.
Come and listen to a dog that's hip. Here we go, it's Rips Picks, yeah!
And number one in things Abraham Lincoln would say if he were alive today, Egad, Iron Bird. You've got the perfect pick this week, Ripley. Is it a coincidence that it coincides with Mr. Arkush's? Yes, it's just a coincidence. Go back to sleep. Now, when we spoke about the filmography of Mr. Roger Corman, I told Alan my favorite Corman film is Mask of the Red Death. His response bettered mine. It's a better movie. From 1959, this is A Bucket of Blood.
The artist, the poet, the figure model who loves to show it.
Do you suppose he could be physically attracted to her?
No, man, he ain't the type. He don't get enough vitamin E.
All these are beat. All these you'll meet in A Bucket of Blood.
Let us make the scene. Crazy.
Come. Enjoy yourself, where the hilarious enjoy the horrifying, in A Bucket of Blood.
No, you're gonna shoot me! Don't shoot!
Come to the land of living dreams, where realists dream of the unreal.
Walter, you've done something to me. Something deep down inside of my prana. Oh, Walter, I want to be with you. You're creative.
Beatniks at their bawdiest. The creative urge at its most primitive.
I'm deeply moved, and I shall compose a poem.
Love is art. Art is love. It's the weirdest and the wildest.
I don't want to make statues anymore. I want to get married. To you.
This one does star the aforementioned Dick Miller. You know him as Mr. Futterman from Gremlins and Gremlins 2. He's the guy in the gun shop in the first Terminator. Here, in A Bucket of Blood, he plays Walter Paisley for the first time. No, there are no sequels, but he would play Walter Paisley a total of 7 times. Nope. Not the same character at all. See, Dick Miller wasn't just Roger Corman's good luck charm. He was also the totem of all Corman Film School graduates, and they tended to stick him into their films any way they could, and they usually did it under the Walter Paisley moniker. Well, if you've seen A Bucket of Blood, you know why. Dig it. Like, if Edgar Allan Poe, Prince of the Poisoned Pen, had been laying down his grooves during the beat period of the 1950s, like, wow. Like, that would be a tale, daddy-o. So try and be cool and not such a... As much as I want to do this whole thing as a beatnik, it'll end up coming out like slam poetry. Walter Paisley, sculptor man, no plan. Walter wants desperately to be part of the scene, so he tries sculpting the object of his desire in a bust and ends up killing a cat. My producer, Foxy Brown, everybody. I don't condone it. Foxy, I don't condone it. So we've got beatnik culture. We've got the transitory and fickle world of art. We've got obsession and murder. That's right, things only escalate. Corman apparently didn't want to do this movie. It was an offer of a measly $50,000 budget and a 5-day shooting schedule from American International Pictures. It was Charles B. Griffith, screenwriter and kind of a beatnik himself, who convinced him that with such a budget, it was a guaranteed earner no matter what they made. And because of that, they ought to do a comedy, a genre Corman was uncomfortable with. Griffith is an interesting cat. Raised by a mother who was a star on the radio, Griffith picked up the habit of radio writers in producing sparkling dialogue at an incredible clip, taking a few weeks where other writers toiled for months. Granted, he's not putting out His Girl Friday, but by comparison and in consideration, his scripts are fucking great. This is probably his best solo effort, but his work on Death Race 2000 or Barbarella can't be overestimated. Not to mention Little Shop of Horrors or Not of This Earth, and he wrote and directed the motherfucking classic, Eat My Dust. I love all of his dialogue with the beatniks, and a special mention to Julian Burton, who plays the bearded poet laureate of The Yellow Door. His blowhard routine is a gas, man. The movie is a gem and a testament to what can be done with little to no resources and a whole lot of ingenuity, and the perfect example of why you always ought to do the thing you fear. Corman didn't want to risk his neck with comedy because he thought he couldn't make it successful. Once that worry was stripped away, he made one of his best films. I think there's a pretty good lesson in there for all of us. You're maudlin. I just chose a flick about murder. Fine, you and Allan Arkush chose it. A Bucket of Blood can be found everywhere for free right now. Watch it. It's fun. Now it's time for my pick. Oh, man. If you know me personally, you're probably sick of hearing about this one, but I will never stop crowing about this movie that you couldn't see for 4 fucking decades, and now you can. These are troubled times we're living in, friend, but they get a little bit sweeter if you get yourself get crazy.
Now you can get everything you ever wanted in a movie. In one movie. You can get high. Get low. Get flipped. Get a glow. Get hugged. Get bizarre. Get a plane. Get a car. Get out. Get in. Get religion. Get sin. Get caressed. Get undressed. Get molested. get arrested.
Evening, officer.
But most of all, get crazy! Get it while it's hot. Get it if you're not. Come and get it. Get crazy! What Animal House did to college, an airplane did to flying, Get Crazy does to rock and roll. Get Crazy, coming soon to a theater near you.
Wow, that's the worst fucking trailer in history. Less effective than the ad campaign for the Monkees movie Head, where they just showed a guy's head for 30 seconds, and then the word head was superimposed over his ugly noggin. At least that might have intrigued you, might have gotten you to say, what is this head they speak of? Where can I get head? You're a filthy hound. What the ad for the Monkey movie here didn't elicit was a sense that maybe I should not see that, but that's part of the crazy history of Get Crazy. Licking his wounds after the studio debacle that was the aforementioned Heartbeeps, Arkush turned his attention to his own history as part of the lighting crew of the Fillmore East. He figured he could make a comedy about the colorful characters and insane situations and personalities involved with putting on a rock show. This one to be set at midnight New Year's Eve. Great. Gets the financing together, gets the script. The film follows Neil, an Arkush proxy in more ways than one when it's portrayed by young Daniel Stern, the stage manager of the Saturn Theater, a club that's been the epicenter of the changing face of popular music since the 1960s. It's 1982, by the way, going on 83. And every act that started out there is now famous, and they all want to do the show, so it's a circus. And there's a greedy promoter looking to take the venue down. And there's a former stage manager who wants her job back. And it's complications, and it's very, very funny. And the music, considering it's Allan Arkush, is of course superb. The title track is by Sparks, your favorite band's favorite band.
Get crazy, the striptease gal, a supermarket aisle. Get crazy, get your boyfriend, it's your pregnant, watch him smile. I'm a mouthy sort of guy, kinda quiet, kinda shy. That's my jet that's parked outside. How about a little ride?
And it has Lou Reed, not just singing, but performing. Every one of the acts that are returning for the concert have a real-world analog. King Blues is Muddy Waters, etc. Lou Reed is standing in for Bob Dylan, and he's just the right amount of total disassociation to pull it off. Incidentally, Lou Reed initially hated this film and cursed Arkush's name, until he saw it, which led Allan Arkush to be the only filmmaker who could license Lou Reed songs no matter the project. I love Lou Reed. All of the Corman regulars make an appearance. Yes, we get Dick Miller. Yes, Paul Bartel, Mary Warrenoff. It's got Ed Begley in one of his earliest and one of my favorite performances as Colin Beverly.
Okay, this building is coming down and 88 stories are going up, so fuck you and fuck rock and roll.
So good. Remember the band Fear? Lee Ving in this is Piggy. Let's just say that's a thinly veiled Iggy Pop, but he's great here. Even better than his performance as Mr. Body in Clue. Incidentally, did you know that Poppy from Seinfeld, he left the embarrassing stain on the couch? I can't believe I'm reducing his career down to an accidental sofa wedding. You know who I'm talking about now, though. It's his voice coming out of Lee Ving's mouth in Clue. Weird, right? Anyway, good performance. He does a song here. King Blues does a song here. The headliner, Reggie Wanker, played by Malcolm McDowell, he does a song. They all do the same song. It's Hoochie Coochie Man. It's one of my favorite jokes in the movie. We get the history of popular music as it's interpreted and reinterpreted by the various artists. But you know who's not performing Hoochie Coochie Man? Nada. Oh, man. This all-female mega group, keyboard, drums, guitars, bass, horns, and my favorite lead singer of all time. Not just fictional bands, no, of all bands, everywhere. Nada herself. She's in a high school band uniform with tights and boots. She's new wave every which way, and she's played and sung by Laurie Eastside. She's a New York scenester and a member of Kid Creole and the Coconuts. She's also an accomplished choreographer. She did work on Cry Baby, that John Waters classic. And let's get it out in the open. I've been in love with her since age 10 when I saw this. Nada, not Laurie Eastside. Though, if you're listening, Laurie, My contact info is in the comments section. I love Nada. I love the band. I love the energy. I love the spirit. I love the fuck everyone not recognizing how awesome we are attitude. They arrived in a smashed-to-shit clown car, and they dominate, and then they fade. It's what theater folks used to call a showstopper. Listen, take my word for it. There's no way you're not going to enjoy this movie. But let's hack our way through the production and releasing and general fuckery that followed. So, in a twist worthy of Mel Brooks' The Producers, in fact, in a page stolen directly from that film, the producers of this film figured it would be better to let this film die horribly and collect the tax write-off. So that's why you get such a fucking delightful trailer to advertise it. It's also why, after a brief run on cable and a few video cassettes managed to sneak out into the wild, the film all but disappeared. The rights were purchased by one production company, packaged with another catalog, and sold again and again. So many times were the original negative and soundtrack moved that along the way, the soundtrack was lost. That's right. I'm not talking songs or a bit of music. I'm talking about the soundtrack. You know, dialogue, sound effects, things like that. So by the time the rights issue was resolved and they could put the movie back out into the world, they were fucked. So, no special widescreen VHS, no fancy Laserdisc. Nothing says you're a serious cinephile like stopping to turn the movie over halfway. No DVD, no DVD commentary or outtakes. Then, no Blu-ray, nearly 40 years without. Though some of us kept the flame alive. I have 3 VHS copies and a half dozen soundtrack LPs. Am I the biggest fan of the film? I don't know. I guess you'd have to ask the director. So, finally, the movie is back together. It looks better than ever. Sincerely, when I saw the disc for the first time, it was literally like seeing the film for the first time. Correct aspect ratio alone is worth it. The movie is so much fucking fun. And yes, I'm in the little making of featurette on the disc, which obviously I'm proud of. I know I never shut up about it. I'm not going to. Get crazy. Get it now. It's like reading an all-music issue of Mad Magazine. And if that description doesn't get you, nothing will. Is that good? You feel good with that? Good. Now get over and man the board. I don't think Foxy's coming back anytime soon. Midnight viewers, thank you so much once again for joining us. I'm Father Malone speaking for Ripley Jean. If you want to help out the show, you can do some pretty simple things. Ones that, admittedly, I'm guilty of not doing from time to time, though I've been trying to correct that lately. Hit like or 5 stars on whatever you're listening to this show on right now. If they ask you to review it, review it. Honestly. And by that I mean positively. Otherwise, piss up a rope. Please share the show and tell your friends. And if you find as the holiday season approaches you're feeling financially generous, well, you could hit us up at patreon.com/Father Malone. Subscribers get early access to commercial-free content. Our theme song was composed by HP. Go check out his Bandcamp site and his podcast, Night Mr. Walters. What are we going to leave you with this week? Come on. Like it's not going to be nada.
Your gig last week, get lost. You made me dress